Man,
I saw a couple of Macho Man ones going.
Speaking of socks with sandals, Kevin Stefanski doesn't wear socks with sandals.
No, especially after how he portrayed himself in an interview with Part of My Take yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm going to play one more clip. We got 3 clips to play in this segment.
Yeah.
I'll play one, we'll react. We'll play another, we'll react.
Yeah.
So, Steve, play the
good.
first one. This is on Stefanski's offensive philosophy.
Again, before you play this, like Kevin Stefanski, you mentioned briefly, but he was on the Pardon My Take podcast. He was very loose as we played a clip right in the beginning. We've almost never seen Kevin Stefanski loose. We are really anxious to get him in studio on the show. I think that's got to be one of our biggest goals.
White whale.
Right, for this,
What
especially.
you mean that's a white whale? He's supposed to be in here.
I think the biggest, I think maybe the best chance for that is during like mini camps and that time of the year. Like we really got to push for that. So we got to get him and get him in a loose situation.
I mean, we the biggest show. We the biggest Cleveland show on the internet.
We're the only show that keeps it real in the entire.
We're the biggest show on the internet. Part of My Take, G, is about 7 million times bigger than we are right now. So we got to get to that level.
What kind of thing is that to say?
We'll get there one day.
They do. Their numbers are stupid. But this was a great interview.
Great producer.
But they ain't in Cleveland.
Great producer.
Play the clip,
Very
Steve.
insulting. Go away.
With Deshaun this year and your running attack, are you going to let it fly or are you going to run the ball?
Can we do both?
No, you got to pick one or the other.
Yeah, I think offensive football, we want to do both.
We want the cop out. You got to either let it fly or run the ball.
Minus grade.
I'll let it fly and then run the ball.
Okay.
Does that work?
Oh.
In one game and then flip it the next
That's a
game?
little interesting. You're not going to establish the run first.
That's a fallacy. You don't have to establish a run to throw it.
Okay.
Well, what about this? How about if you let that thing fly and then you run the damn ball?
How about if I put that on the call sheet?
Okay, I like that. I like both those things. What's your prediction? Everyone's giving us a prediction this year. Your prediction for the Browns?
Everyone. Literally everyone.
Can we go undefeated? Is that
your
prediction?
Yes, that's what you should aim
I mean, you try to win every game. So
yeah.
Okay.
They're not better than us. I'm sorry. They're not. They're just not.
I'm not saying they're better than us.
That's
they
what
have a much bigger following.
Wait a minute. The
I
whole
was looking
time.
for something riveting. I was looking for something big. Like, I'm like, they about to say something
He
groundbreaking.
ain't even focusing.
You're not getting real
Mike,
diehard
how about
sports
some loyalty
analysis.
to your show?
He's not even focusing on Kevin Stefanski answer.
Yeah.
He's looking at what they doing.
Now, Tyvus, you got a problem with what he said there.
Yeah, I do.
What's your problem with that?
Because the way he phrased it was that he making it seem like nowadays in a game of football, you don't have to establish the run, you can just pass. And I think that's not true. I think that's actually kind of false. I think for the Cleveland Browns, yes, that's true. You don't have to establish the run with the Cleveland Browns because you have Nick Chubb as running back. It's like the Titans. If I got Derrick Henry back there, of course, as a defender, I'm thinking to myself, or a linebacker, if he even gets play action, I'm going to have to step up to it because I have to get this guy before he gets going. But if it's, I don't know, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who don't really get the ball, why would I step up?
Well, let me use your example.
I'm not stepping up for that.
Does Patrick Mahomes need Clyde Edwards-Helaire to play well to be able to throw the ball well?
No, but he needs that play action.
Well,
I mean, it would be
If you're a good enough
easier.
quarterback, you don't need the play action.
Well,
Let me ask you this, Tyvus.
so then you saying what we seen from Deshaun Watson last season? He don't need play action. You don't think Jacoby Brissett needed play action?
No. Yeah, but I think the numbers have – I think what he's saying is they're looking at the numbers and that teams bite, at least for a millisecond, on that play action, whether the running back's good or not. I think that's what he's trying to say.
I think what he was trying to say is, I think nowadays it's flipped. I believe that you have to, if you want to run the ball, you have to throw the ball to run the ball. It's a numbers game. Like all you got to do is be able to, as a defender, I can stop the run. Right? People forget.
Well, except for the Browns.
Yeah, you're right. That's crazy, right? That's crazy.
That's a good one.
Every other team can. The quarterback doesn't block anybody, right? So that's one guy off. The running back can't block for himself. That's another two.
Right.
So at the core, all you got to do is have enough people in the box, and your force defender or your run defender is going to be unblocked. And if he's a good tackler, you will get tackled. Now, here's the thing. If you can go out there and you can throw the football, you come out in the passing. I'm a big fan of doing this, running the ball out of traditional passing formations. I can come out and 4 wide receivers. I can theoretically.
So you want to run the spread?
Yes.
Okay.
And then-
That's also where they about to go.
Isn't the play action more about the quarterback giving a good fake rather than who the running back is?
No.
I think
They go hand in hand.
I finally have one
Yes.
thing that Baker Mayfield is really good at. He was good at faking.
He was.
He had a good fake.
He did. And by the way, Deshaun Watson met with Kevin Stefanski last year when they went to pitch him on what they were going to do.
Yeah.
He said, I was sitting there watching tape with Kevin Stefanski, and we were sitting there, and Jimmy Haslam and D. Haslam and Barry were over there, and he said, we got a little bit of time just to talk about football. He said the one thing he coached me up on was he believes that I could carry out my play-action fakes better. And he was like, wow, that's crazy. My high school coach used to tell me that all the time. He said, yes, when you carry out your fakes better, it freezes defensive ends, it freezes the linebackers, and it gives you an extra step to run the ball or to do what you need to do.
Yep.
And I thought that was really great. I do believe that you have to throw the ball to set it up. I do believe that if you could run out of traditional shotgun formations with your running back and you're diligent with it, you can get run and pass off. However, the Browns haven't done that in the past, and Nick Chubb actually struggles a little bit running the ball out of shotgun.
Well, he did last year.
Yes.
Now, they haven't really run that type of offense with him, so
They haven't.
we don't we talk about other players having to adjust. We never think about a running back having to adjust. Mm-hmm. But he's got to make an adjustment because
maybe they should go to the pistol.
I like the pistol too.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's still a downhill. If he's a downhill guy, I mean, that's essentially still downhill. He just catch it, turn around, hand it.
Yeah.
It's still in the spread.
Right,
Still
that's true.
They can run pistol.
I mean, I do think their offense is going to be a lot different. I
Well,
think
they got no choice.
it's going to be a lot more shotgun centric, and to his credit, if they're going to be able to run that and they're going to be able to change it up, I just think they have to kick it in high gear. You can't. A lot of stuff that they were doing, where you got 3 or 4 tight ends, that's done.
No.
That's finished. That's done.
the only
Fullbacks
time
on the
I want to
roster,
see more than one tight end is 4th and inches and on the goal line.
That's it.
That's it.
That's
Otherwise,
all.
I don't want more than one tight end on the field.
Yeah.
If the Browns had David Njoku and Travis Kelce, fine. They don't. They got one tight end.
Hernandez and Gronkowski. I was watching.
Okay, I'm okay with those.
Boy, was they destroying people. I was in the time machine on that one a couple
I
days
think,
ago.
but for the guys, for them to be successful, if they want to be a pass-first offense, which we'd like to see because you have an elite quarterback, or at least a guy who was elite. Although Malcolm Jenkins said some interesting things.
He did.
He thinks
They
people have
going
maybe
all
overhyped a little him in Houston.
Oh no, Malcolm Jenkins thinks that Deshaun Watson's overrated. I listen.
That's kind of what he said.
He kind of was like, "Come on, bro." I mean, he was balling in Houston, but he really wasn't doing nothing in Houston.
Yeah, right. That's what he's saying.
I heard
Because
that.
players like him don't give a rat's ass with the PFF grades.
No.
He's like, were you winning?
Yeah.
No.
That's a great question.
You weren't winning. But obviously, the obvious one is Watson's got to play better. But, so many people have come on this show and said defensive tackle, linebacker. But you and I keep saying, if this offense is going to be dynamic, you got to get more weapons in the passing game.
Yeah.
I think Cleveland. I think the Browns have been so far in the Stone Ages.
Oh my God! Yes.
Like with the way offense runs.
Yeah.
They think that you got one receiver and they got 1,100 yards, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, guys, we got a receiver." You're like, "That's one receiver." Then Donovan Peoples-Jones, to some people, he is not. He is not Jerry Rice. This is not this is not Taylor on the other side of Rice. Like this is not Harper on the other side of Irving.
No.
Like that's not the thing. And people overinflate all the time. And I'm like, you got a decent tight end. You got a nice little complimentary receiver. It's not doing too much. You got to get another. And I'm saying another 1 or 2.
So you in on the Hop thing?
Bro,
I'm Brandon Cooks for me.
I would take Hopkins. I would take Cooks.
So okay, because I wasn't here for this. Did y'all talk about this?
Yes.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't here for that one. So I'd rather Cooks as well.
Yeah.
But Hopkins, I wouldn't want to keep DPJ and Hop because I essentially think they like the same guy.
My feeling on Hopkins is if the Browns traded for him, I'm not going to kill him.
Yeah.
For it. I don't think they would
Not at
either.
all. You getting
But
a
I think
playmaker.
Cooks is a better fit.
I agree. Because that's what we need
He's
the
the
blaze.
speed guy.
Yeah. I would listen. I'm a mercenary at this point.
You want
like
anybody.
I'm Fast and the Furious 10 over here. Give me any.
I want 2 wide receivers.
Two.
Going in. I want one proven guy like Cooks, and
I'm
then
gonna-
give me one of these wide receivers who's like a wild card guy who has some talent.
Oh, Paris Campbell.
I like him too.
Whatever, somebody like that, right? Like where it's a lottery ticket.
Yeah,
Whereas maybe he's got some upside, and at worst, he's a third, fourth option that's decent.
Or he can get behind somebody 2 or 3 games, and he may only have 300 yards, but he got 3 touchdowns on big plays.
By the way, Paris Campbell, he fits the mold. He is, I think, he like 26. He's still young. So.
But if David Njoku and Donovan Peoples-Jones are the second and third options in the passing game, the Browns' offense is not going to be dynamic. Now, if they're third and fourth, I can live with it. I'd like them to be fourth and fifth, honestly, or at least third and fifth.
That is not dynamic.
So y'all gave up on David Bell.
Oh, he wasn't dynamic when
I'm
he
not
came
completely giving him
You,
up.
so you wrote him off.
I can't rely on him.
He's C- speed.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Tyvus, you locking him
wait
down.
a minute, hold on, because that's not fair to say. It's a lot. Wes Welker was a C- speed. You got all these guys Cole Beasley is a C- speed.
They got elite change of direction. They had nice.
And that's what I say. I say he needs to get with Amari Cooper this offseason
But you know what?
and completely find out how to run routes.
I'll worry about David Bell down the line.
Yeah.
I'm not cutting him.
Oh, no. I'm not saying to cut him
But
out.
I'm not relying on him.
He's a gunner.
He gonna be the guy. Watch this preseason. He gonna be a preseason
Mike, you got
all
one more
American.
clip, right?
Gunner.
We got 1 or 2 depending on how much time. But real
Go
quick,
ahead.
just want to remind everybody that the 12 o'clock lunch hour is sponsored by Colleague Racing.
Yes, it is.
Colleague Racing, your Northeast Ohio NASCAR
We want to get
team.
to this. Sorry, finish that line. Go ahead.
We got 2 clips. This next one is about Nick Chubb.
And we want to get to our new game.
We have
so-
a new game too.
Yeah.
We love Nick Chubb. The fans love Nick Chubb.
Yes.
And Kevin Stefanski loves Nick Chubb. Play it, Steve.
Are you open to putting on your play sheet next year, just as a reminder? You know how Matt Nagy has BU? You should just have run the damn ball.
I hear, yeah, that's definitely something that I'll hear. You know, it's a refrain of our fans oftentimes.
Yep.
I'm like, score points.
Yeah.
I want to write that on the call sheet.
That
like,
works too.
Any which way you can.
But what about this for analytics? Teams that run the ball more win at a higher rate in the NFL than teams that run the ball less.
That's not true.
Yeah, is that the whole causation versus?
Yes.
Yeah, it is,
Yes.
but it's also true.
Yeah.
So
You know, I remember somebody
you are
once
an
said
Ivy
they're
League
like,
guy. That was
Yeah.
very smart.
they said when Nick Chubb rushes the ball this many times, you win. I'm like, we should start the game with 24 straight Nick rushes. And
Yes.
see what happens.
Yes.
We may be down by a couple scores, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems like a good guy. when I watch the mic'd ups with Chubb, he doesn't really say anything. He's just like breathing hard, and then occasionally be like, "Yeah," after like a good play. Is he more talkative than that around you, around people that he knows?
He's definitely more talkative when he's comfortable. Nick is a unique person. I mean, he's a man of few words, and I always tell people like, he's not low maintenance. He's no maintenance. He shows up. He doesn't wear gloves. You know, he kind of is always what he's supposed to wear out at practice. He's in stretch lines. Like whatever you ask him to do, he's just going to do it. But he's got personality off the field. I just don't think he lets people in very easily.
Mm-hmm. So have you ever given a speech like if we had 53 Nick Chubbs?
Yes.
Would it be, yeah.
Yes. I get around town. I always get Nick Chubb's my favorite player. I'm like, mine too.
Yeah.
You know what, bro? Before we go, I'm with G. Busher. There's no way that they're better than us.
No.
I see.
I didn't say they were better than us. They're just bigger than us.
I see it too. Like I don't. I swear we better than that.
WKYC.
They've been around a while. We've been around not even a year
They
yet.
just had their 7-year anniversary.
We need that budget. We need the big time budget.
We're still 2 months from our
We
first
gotta,
anniversary.
yeah, we're gonna get that first. Listen, we're gonna catch y'all in year 3.
We gotta have a big. By the way, for the first anniversary, we gotta have a big show.
Yeah, we do.
We will.
What day of the week is that?
May 9th. I don't know what day of the week.
No,
it is.
I know it's May 9th.
Be a
but I didn't know what day
Wednesday.
of
Be
the
a
week.
Wednesday. Be a
But
Wednesday.
I will say that
It's a Tuesday.
Dang! I'm
we gotta
coming
get
in
Titus
anyway.
on.
Tyvus just pull up.
I'm coming in unannounced.
And you owe me too. You will pay me for that day. By the way, Big Nuggets, I'm gonna tell you about what you know. Here's a crazy thing, man. No, this is just off the record. Hey man, Stefanski, you could be out here winning, man. Stefanski, if he get a little personality, man, he getting everything in the bars. Like you see his little lined up beard. I'm like, oh man, he got the salt and pepper joint going.
I've seen him around Rocky River.
I said, oh,
he ain't got.
He's getting. Listen, he's getting all. Listen, I don't know. You have a happy home with 3 little small children, but I'm telling you, you could be winning.
The only time I saw him around Rocky River was at his daughter's basketball game.
She's like
He gave a
5 or
shout out to
something.
the Irish barber in Rocky River during the
he
interview
did.
too.
He did. Do we have one more clip? Is that the Irish barber, or should we blow it
No,
off? And
but
get-
Steve, if you pull up, this is something you've hit on before. pull up.
By the way, real quick, I love that Stefanski made fun of the stat that always bothered me.
He does.
About the carries.
He should do that all the time. Look, I like him even more. I don't even want him fired today.
See? Geez, fall in love with Stefanski
I don't even
all
want him
over
fired
again.
today,
Just
bro.
today. What about
Just today? Then tomorrow,
It
tomorrow
might be
off.
something different.
You better be talking to me every day.
Yeah.
So we got 2 more quick ones. The game's not going to take super long. But,
Yeah.
this is why what we do is different than Cleveland media in general and most media. Now, he sat down for 40 minutes with Part of My Take and did this interview. You can ask some silly questions, have some fun with the guy in that setting. You can't ask that at a press conference after the game.
Yeah.
You can't ask him about getting his haircut in Rocky River after they just lost to the Jets in week 2. So it's a very different.
That's a dope question. See? He don't even got to take us that serious. Like, we just commentators. I'm never going to ask you no questions.
Well, G,
I am.
G, you're going to love this next one then. Steve, play this next clip. This is about the COVID.
So are you superstitious at all?
Not really. No, I don't think so.
Okay, because that would explain for why you didn't sit out the second playoff game after you had COVID against the Steelers. Because I would have sat that out if I were you.
Yeah.
We gave you
With
credit
the-
for that, by the way.
Yeah. Are you? Have you won a playoff game?
Technically, yes.
Oh.
Maybe no. Does that count? If I wasn't there,
We
does it
gave you
count?
credit, and then a bunch of Steelers fans were like, he wasn't even on the sideline.
I don't care. Yeah. I know this. That it was the most surreal. Now, it happened the next year, but it wasn't a playoff game. I missed the game. We were playing the Raiders at our place, but I can't describe to you how weird it was. Like, out-of-body type stuff where you're watching your football team play in a playoff game. You're in your basement. You're sick. Your family's upstairs. It was just the strangest time.
You actually had a quote after that I loved, that you said that it was harder to watch the games than be in the games.
100%. Yeah, and that's
We
I
know.
get it.
We know.
No, I get it. I was pacing up and down. I have the call sheet in front of me, which I don't know why, and I'm trying to figure out what they're calling next. And that's why if you guys were on the sideline and you're calling plays, you have the power over.
Yeah.
You can make decisions. So it's the nervous energy is not there when you're in the moment calling plays. I was so nervous going up and down. It was incredible.
Yeah, I like how they say we know, like they were coaching and now they're doing.
But like Malcolm Jenkins said, he said when you're playing, he said when you're watching your team and you at home, and you're not, it's crazy. He said,
It
I don't
is.
know how y'all do it.
It is. It's definitely
It's tough being
a
a
total
fan.
difference.
Now,
I love when the coaches always were like, "We want to win as much as you do." No, you don't.
No. You
You're
don't.
going to another team at some point.
Jason Lloyd's house is on the line. You do not want to win more than we want to win. And by the way, on top of that, he's never giving up play calling. Did you see what he described? He said, "Man, listen, usually we got the play call sheet. You could affect something.
Yeah.
But if you don't, you just pace it up and down the stairs." Can you imagine Stefanski with no call sheet?
Oh, man.
Looking at Van Pelt talk about what we running on this play.
They can forget about that.
Oh, they forget about that. He's never giving that up. He's
You
like,
got one more clip, Mikey?
We do, and G, this is how the interview started. Can you imagine this being the first thing you ask somebody in an interview setting, especially a head coach of a professional football team? Steve, play it.
We now welcome on very special guest. It is head coach of the Cleveland Browns, Kevin Stefanski. Thank you for coming on, Coach. Do you want to do the hard question first or the easy question?
Hard one.
All right, let's rip it off. All right, so we sometimes like to just be honest with our guests, things that we've said. So I'm going to read a tweet to you from December 26, 2022. It says, Browns versus Saints was a battle of who
Browns
can be
fan,
the
right?
dumber piece of shit head coach. Somehow Dennis Allen came to his senses before Stefanski. Thoughts?
Fair. Yeah. Fair. I mean, when you lose, everything's fair game. So fair. I'd agree.
Well, there were 2 losers in that game. Do you remember how that played out? That was
Yes.
the game.
I do. Yeah.
That was the game
hope.
where I think everybody that was watching it was just screaming at the TV, no matter who you rooted for, run the damn ball.
Yeah.
Why don't you run the damn ball?
It was hard in that game to run the damn ball. They knew that it was very hard to pass, so they were bringing safeties very close to that line of scrimmage. So you're thinking, all right, the wind's died down. We got the wind with us. Let's try this. Obviously, it didn't work. So then you work backwards. You're like, okay, what could we have done differently? And yes, running the damn ball in some situations would have helped in that game.
I would love to see him do that with G. Bush.
listen, this is crazy.
If he came in, he would do it with us. We'd have a blast with him.
G. Bush, you tell her what you said.
Oh man,
He should be fired. I'm done with him right now.
No, I would ask him. I would say, listen, Coach. Obviously, you're sitting here with you're honest as hell with us, bro. We appreciate this right here, man. But I did a clip of you in your press conferences in the post game after you lose, and you sound like Shermer, Mangini, Romeo Cornell. you sound like Chudzinski, and I'd run the greatest hits. And they would be like, he was like, yeah, you're right. Hey, guess what? I do have a video about that. They all sound the same. But listen, you got McNuggets, you gotta take into consideration here. Doesn't he come off a little more likable?
A little, way more. I mean, infinitely more.
Like
You didn't like him? You didn't like him before?
Hell no. Like,
I kind of liked him. We had interviewed him before on the radio, and I had good interactions, but he was really good. He was really good
right there.
And they did do a nice job with him, and it was a good interview, and we'd love to have him on. But anyway.
Now we've asked, just for the people out there, we have made several requests to the
Oh, he's
Browns for
coming
Kevin
on.
Yeah, we'll
Stefanski.
get it.
Oh, he's coming on.
All right.